Hello. I know it's been about 4 months since the last video I posted, and I said I was going to use this more regularly. However, things got in the way. But we are back. We have a new toy. Let's get started. So firstly, just to address the elephant in the room, I know it's been 4 months. I've had a lot of stuff going on. There's been personal issues I've been trying to deal with. There is work issues as well. It's been so cold. Like, this is the first winter working in this unit. Some days I've got here and it's been -3 and it's taken half a day just to get the place warmed up. So I've fallen behind on work, I've fallen behind on personal stuff too, and obviously that takes priority over YouTube videos. So apologies for the 4-month wait. However, we've got a bit of time now, so we have plenty of opportunities to make videos. Now, anything that's said in here will be on Instagram, so if you have a short attention span and want to watch stuff in a shorter format, then by all means, everything's on there too. Again, Instagram is at P3LWO. But on here, we're going to go into more detail, show more stuff, and hopefully open your guys' eyes to some of the things that we do at Phoenix Composites and some of the things that you can do in your own home as well with some of this equipment. And the first of that is a new scanner. So this is the new Vega by Einstar. This is a follow-on from their original Einstar 3D scanner made by Shining 3D. That was a great scanner, and I actually considered the Einstar as well, but when I started to look at the computer requirements, which even my PC over here it's only a few years old, but it still doesn't meet the minimum system requirements for it. Also, I want it to be portable, and these scanners use a lot of wires, and I've used a lot of scanners before that basically have been inadequate for what I want to do. A couple of reasons. One of them is tracking. The scan area is like maybe 5-6 inches square, which isn't enough for scanning car parts. If I need to scan a full wing or a bumper or something, it's a nightmare trying to do that in sections and then piece them all together and keep it accurate. A better scanner will help that, but the other problem then is if I want to go to site, so if I've got somebody who wants me to scan something on their car, say you're building a car in a shed and you need parts made for it, the car's not on the road, it's not rolling, you can't bring it to where I am here, then I wanted to be able to go to people and offer that service to take it away and work back in the office. But the problem with that is a lot of the scanners that allow you to do that are things like the Einstar Libre, which is a fantastic bit of kit. There's videos on YouTube that it's genuinely amazing. The amount of stuff it can scan, how good it is, and the detail that it gives you as well. But then when you look at the price, about £30,000 including tax, which is more than I can afford. I don't know about anybody else that's watching this, but I'm not in the market for a £30,000 scanner. So after a chat with the guys at Shining 3D, they have agreed to send me the Vega on a 4-month trial purpose, just to basically test it out, see if it meets my needs, give honest feedback on it as well. And I do have to let people know that because obviously I want to be transparent. But honestly, with what I've seen, I have high hopes for this scanner. This thing is completely portable, so I can take this to a site, scan anything I want. It saves the point clouds, can convert to meshes on the device as well, and then I can even upload it to the cloud too and download it wirelessly to my PC. There's still USB options there, so if you want to plug it in to download files, you can do that. That's not a problem too. It still has all the accuracy of a small scanner with the HD mode, so if you wanted to scan something on your desktop, maybe a small action figure or something like that, you still have that functionality. But they also have the fast scan mode, and the fast scan mode gives you an operating range of up to about 1 meter scanning distance, and the scanning area is huge. Obviously, the further away you are, the less detailed the scan is, but if you can find a compromise in a distance from the part whilst you're scanning, you can get a good level of detail whilst also making it super easy to keep tracking and work your way around big panels too. So I'm very excited about that. This video is going to be all about me using the Vega. I'm going to give some feedback on obviously the setup of the device, the functionality of it, and we've actually got a boot lid in the back of here as well, which we're doing for somebody who sent me an old boot lid that wasn't in the best condition. They wanted it to be skinned in carbon fibre, but also wanted a custom spoiler. So we're going to use the Vega to scan the boot lid, put that into Fusion, create the spoiler. Again, this is more about the scanner though than the process of creating the parts. 3D print it, stick it on the boot lid, and then eventually we'll get it all skinned in carbon fibre as well. So yeah, here's an opportunity to have a look around the scanner, and we'll take it from there. So forgive the noise, I have something printing in the background, but one of the first things we need to do when we get the scanner, you are prompted after connecting to Wi-Fi, there is a firmware update, typically. Now this firmware obviously comes with a lot of improvements. The scanner's been out for a couple of months now, so there's a few things that will have changed. Get the firmware updated and then we'll get set up and we shall start scanning. Whilst the firmware is updating, we've got a chance to look over what came in the package as well. So first off, we've got a nice clamshell case, quite a soft touch, but foam padded inside as well. Quite like this. We strap for it as well. Got your contents list obviously. This is a calibration plate. Calibration plates are used for setting up the device for the first time. This is handy because these distances between these dots are known in software, so you can use this to calibrate to make sure you get the best possible accuracy. You also get a nice little stand, little tripod, 6 extendable legs on it too. This is actually metal, which is nice. I've seen a few scanners, especially the cheaper ones, coming with a plastic tripod, which are a bit flimsy and not amazing. This is quite short. I think total length, including the legs, is maybe, you know, like 14 inches or so. I think a bigger tripod's going to be better. I do have tripods from using cameras, so that's fine. But it's handy that it comes with it, and it seems to be like a nice build quality as well. Strap for it, we've got the charger. Charger is a sticking point for me. Now, this came with one of these plugs, big wall wart. That's already chunky enough. However, to use in the UK, we also get this adapter too, which plugs onto the top. Problem with this is, look at the size of that. It's not my favourite. I think it would be better if we had a UK standard plug. I don't know if that's going to change at some point in the future, but it's one point I am a bit critical of, to be honest. I would prefer to see an all-in-one plug. USB-C charging cable, and then finally tracking dots. Now, tracking dots are handy for these kind of scanners because if you have big flat panels, which obviously the fast mode in this can scan, like car parts, bumpers, that kind of thing, they're lacking in geometry, and a scanner needs geometry to figure out where in space it is. These tracking dots are reflective, and the infrared light bounces back off to these, and the scanner can map these out in 3D space, so it knows even if there's no detail on the part, the scanning dots will let it know where it is, and it will still map it out properly. That's handy for things like this bad boy, which is what we're going to be scanning today. So we'll get these scanning dots all over it as well. There's big ones, small ones, and I think we got up to 10mm scanning dots now as well. So I'll have to try and get hold of some of them at some point too, maybe scan a full vehicle. But that's basically it. Firmware is updated. Let's get started. So this is our first time setup, so I'm going to go through this with you on a camera as well. So gone through the tutorial steps. That's absolutely fine. Skip them. So first thing it's prompting us to do up here is it says that we need to recalibrate. And to do so, we need to go to calibration. Easy. Start calibration. Keep the scanner horizontally and centered on the calibration board. Once this is done, you can have a small wait just to generate the calibration result. It takes a few minutes. One word of advice when you're doing the fast mode is to maybe put the calibration board somewhere lower down. Try to do it on the desk, and you need to be at least 70 centimeters away, and it's really hard to see the screen, and kind of lift it up and down whilst keeping it tracking as well. So maybe move it somewhere on the floor or something just to make your life a little bit easier. Right, first things first, we need to put tracking dots on here. I mentioned how flat surface geometry is difficult to capture, and you can see here these are big flat panels, so it might be alright around the detail and things here, but over the back it's going to struggle to get the flat bits. So the tracking dots you just lay out in any kind of abstract pattern that you want. The idea is you want it to not be symmetrical, repeating, anything like that, so you get weak clusters, you get little spots here and there. That'll help the scanner to determine where it is in space. And then if you bear with me, I'm going to go and grab the head cam, and then we can start scanning. So here we are, we can set the working distance now. We're quite far from this, so we're set into fast mode, and you see, you change the working distance, you can actually pick up detail further away. It's struggling with the black though. What we can try and do is adjust the brightness. Maybe pick up more detail, but no, it just does not like this whatsoever. It's too reflective. So we're going to have to use some scanning spray. So this stuff is scanning spray made by Einstar. This was provided with the scanner as well. Now this stuff takes all this gloss, shiny, dark coloured stuff and puts like a white sheen over the top of it. Not tried it on top of tracking dots before, but we'll find out. But hopefully this will give us a decent scan. So we've added a bit more scanning spray, a few more dots, just to try and get that top edge as well, because it doesn't seem to like going over 90-degree angles, which is fine. So we need to work around some stuff. So we're getting the bottom of the boot lid, everything's going nice and green. Let's pick up more data around here. All good. Try and get in here as well. Don't need it for the scan, but obviously if you're scanning, it's just handy to have the data there. On the top of here as well. You can see along the bottom, there's a couple of little gaps in the scanning spray, so those bits it's struggling a bit more to pick up, but we're getting there. And you can see these little red tracking dots. You need to try and keep as many as you can within the scan area, because that helps it to locate itself whilst referencing other ones. If I, for instance, move over here, can't see the scanning dots anymore, it'll ask me to go back to where it was. And as soon as I'm back on the dots, it picks them up again. And then, hopefully now, there we go. And we are over the top. I have to say, just from this process alone, I know there's a couple of finicky points on it, which is kind of expected. It's not the easiest thing to scan because it's large, it's flat and dark and reflective. But we are getting plenty of data here fairly easily. And the great thing about this being handheld as well means I can scan this stuff without cables everywhere. I've used scanners in the past that have got umpteen cables, you're dragging cords around the place, you need a computer or a laptop nearby too. This thing being completely handheld is really nice to use. So again, back down here, and then we'll come back around the front again just to pick up any bits we might have missed. Still tracking. And I wonder if we can get this corner here. This corner is just the last little bit we've not picked up yet. So I wonder if maybe a funky angle will help. So back at the desk, the scan is complete. As you can see, there's lots of data there. There's a couple of little bits that maybe could be better, but that's more down to my process along the edges and things here. But there's enough detail along this backlit, which is what we wanted to be able to make the spoiler bleed off the back edge. So we're going to process this now. So we're just going to hit complete. And there's a little bit of noise, a little bit of artifacts just along the top there. Again, this can all get cleaned up. The main thing is to have the geometry there, which is absolutely fine. I don't think this is an issue with the scanner. I honestly think this is my issue. First time scanning as well, so it is what it is. However, for scanning a large panel, that was so effortless and easy, and there's a lot less work than some of the stuff that I've had to do with scanners before. So we're going to fast process, resolution 1.71 or HD mode. We're going to go 1mm. Let's go HD, see what happens. Using some magic of YouTube, we've jumped forward about 9 minutes or so to process that scan. And it's actually cleaned up a lot of the rubbish that was up around here. Looks pretty decent, to be honest. And what we can do now as well, if we want to check stuff, is we can go and measure it. And so we'll zoom in between two measurable points. So we'll go between these number plate holes. Click on this little feature here, which tells us to measure between 2 points, and then tap there to there. About, what's that, 177mm or so. And back out here, if we measure just roughly, because I say it doesn't need to be 0.mm accurate, but it's roughly there to roughly there, 177mm measured. That seems close enough to me, so I'm happy enough with the accuracy as well. You can actually see that scanning spray, it evaporates after time by itself. Part of the issue I was having in the first scan, because I took so long to do it, the spray started evaporating. That's my fault, I just need to learn to work a bit quicker. But that'll tidy up nicely, and then we can now get this model into CAD. Last step we need to do is to get this onto the PC. So we're going to go to share. It's asked us to upload the mesh as well, so we're going to call this Civic Bootlid. Okay, select my space, and you can see you've got an amount of storage here as well. Hit upload, and that is now winging its way to the cloud, which means that I'll then be able to download it from the cloud space onto the PC as well. Once we get a QR code from our upload, we can actually then get to the website and download it. You can plug in the device as well to transfer it by USB. I just wanted to use the cloud service, see how it was. So here's the file in the browser. This is what we scanned. When you download it, you can actually select which kind of file type you want as well. So you can select OBJ, STL, and that kind of stuff too. We're going to use STL just because it's the format that I'm most used to using really. And then once it's downloaded, we shall fire up Fusion 360. So fast forward to the next day. This took a little while. So we've got a little lip modelled. So the next thing we need to do is bring this into Bamboo, into the slicer, and it's been sliced up lovely into lots of sections. Obviously this thing's about 1.3 meters wide, so I've had to do it in 5 sections to fit it all in the plate. Get that printing, and with a bit more YouTube magic, we shall come back to this tomorrow. Hello, Chris from the future here. I'm going to leave you with a cliffhanger. I was going to make more detail about the process of making the boot lid and all the carbon work and everything, but this is more about the scanner today. I can do that stuff if you want more information about that. If you want to see more updates, there's always the business page at Phoenix Composites on Instagram, or my personal one at P3LWO as well. If you want to see more detail, let me know. I can make more videos. It's not a problem. I'm going to try and upload a bit more regularly than every 4 months because things, as I say, they got on top of me. But it's fine. We're back on track now. This is all about the scanner though. Massive thanks to Einstar for letting me try out the scanner for a few months. I think the way things are going, I'm probably going to make it a permanent addition to the business because the doors this has opened for me in terms of my workflow have just been phenomenal. The fact that it's portable, mobile, no wires, but the accuracy is good enough over a large car panel as well that I can 3D print objects in multiple parts and they just fit. Bonded to the boot lid, bit of fiberglass to smooth it out, blend it together, then carbon over the top, and customer's happy, I'm happy. So yeah, genuinely really impressed with this. I have got more projects on the go. I don't know if you've caught any sketches down in the corner there whilst I've been moving the camera around, but there is more stuff to come as well that's been using the 3D scanner, so I'm going to be posting more content about that in the future. Until then though, appreciate you guys watching. I hope you guys found this interesting, and I will catch you next time. Peace.